Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 45's research methods for Saturday, February 12th. And just going to go over a few items as I always do, and reminders, clarifications, etc. First up here is that your exam scores from our first exam, those were posted earlier this week after you took it there on Wednesday night. So please do take a look at your scores there. I will return the exams for you to take a look at when we get back in class this coming Monday. But most of you did pretty well, which is of course really good to see. I'm sure most of you are happy. You probably noticed there was no discussion due this week. I try to avoid having a discussion due the same week as an exam, but we will have our discussion on our current chapter, Chapter 5, that we started a little bit about there on Wednesday night on samples and populations, etc. there. We're going to have that discussion due next Friday, this coming Friday there, so keep an eye out for that. And what you're going to do this time is listen to a report from, again, National Public Radio that touches an area that some of you may have heard about there, and it's really kind of alarming. I shouldn't say kinda, it is. And it's certainly the reason why we have seen some real changes and somehow organizations have decided to collect data from people, and you'll see what I'm talking about there. Don't mean to sound nebulous, but I don't want you to really know about it until you take a look at it formally there. And it's pretty good stuff, and it's something you may have heard about on the news, and it just shows you how important it is that, as I say in the discussion setup there for this one, that it's important to be careful about the people you collect data from in the first place to claim something about human behavior. Next up here is on Monday, we are going to continue on with Chapter 5. We're going to get through most of it there. And what I'd like you to kind of get ready for there is take a look at the different kinds of sampling techniques or methods. There's two large classes. They're simply known as probability sampling and non-probability sampling. And there are some characteristics that describe each of those. You'll see there's three characteristics for each. I want you to know those pretty well for your upcoming next exam. You'll see I say that in the lecture video when you watch it there. But those three characteristics that typify probability and non-probability sampling, they're basically opposites of each other. So if you memorize the one set of three, you automatically know the other set of three. So it's kind of nice that way. There are specific sampling techniques that go along with probability sampling, of which there are 5 particular ones. For example, random sampling, proportionate, stratified, random sampling. You'll see that there. And there's also 2 additional techniques that fall under convenience sampling. You'll see those are quota sampling and convenience sampling. So do take a look at that. It's pretty important stuff there. Also, don't forget that your first part of your APA style literature review paper, as I said in class on Wednesday after the exam, that is due this coming Wednesday. And so remember, you will find the instructions there in the APA module that I have dedicated to all this APA paper stuff. It's underneath Unit 5 of our course materials. So on our Canvas course page, just scroll down past Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Underneath Unit 5, you'll see the APA module there. Look for where it says instructions for Component 1. That's Part 1 of your paper. And they're pretty detailed. I showed you those in class there too. So take a look at that. Underneath the instructions there, you'll see a separate dedicated area in the APA module where you're going to submit your paper. It's clearly labeled. It says Submit Component 1 here. And so you can't miss it. And it must be in Microsoft Word, so make sure you only submit it in Word, so no PDFs, Google Docs, Apple Docs, etc. there. You have free access to Microsoft Word there. If you click on the Office 365 link on any Canvas course page, you automatically have access to it there. The school has a contract, like many schools do, with Microsoft, and so we have free access there for our students, so just keep that in mind there. You also have to have your paper ultimately about a topic in social psychology, so I have included an embedded file link in the instructions for Part 1 of the paper. There's an embedded file link for topics in social psychology. It's just a simple list of topics there. But I've also included a link to a free social psychology ebook that you can jump on online there and just take a look at it there and get an idea of what topic you might want to write about. If you haven't already had a course in social psychology, it's a great course. I teach that course myself too. But that'll help give you some ideas, so definitely check that out there. You also have to include a thesis statement. That is how you're going to approach your topic. I have samples of that included in the instructions, so take a look at those. I showed you those in class. And also you have to include at least 10 APA style references of actual research studies that are done, so not books, not websites, not some psychology blog or something, but actual research studies that were done, and those have to be in APA style and format. There you have your pocket guide to APA style that will help you out. There's a separate link to that electronic version of that ebook right underneath the link for MindTap and the MindTap module on our course page. There is also, if you've got the printed version of our textbook, it's in the back there. But at the very end of the book, they tucked in the pocket guide to APA style, and there are lots of examples of how you put a list of references in APA style and format. I also have included there in the instructions on our course page there a completed sample submission, so you can see here's somebody's submission for their topic, their thesis statement, and their list of 10 APA style references. So do take a look at that. You'll also see in the instructions towards the bottom a simple file which just describes kind of a rubric for you. A rubric is basically how you're going to earn points or what might cost you points. So do take a look at that. Consider it a checklist of sorts. So if you kind of look over that, you shouldn't make any major mistakes on your formatting of your APA style references. So do check that out. So I tried to give you everything I could to help you do well on this. So it's up to you to use the resources I provided for you, and it may sound like a lot, but it's really not. This is the first part of the paper, and it's pretty straightforward. It gets a bit more involved in the second and third part of the papers, so step by step you'll work your way towards getting your final paper turned in. Well, that's everything I wanted to say for now. I hope you're having a good weekend. Enjoy the weather. Stay safe. If you need anything in the meantime, just send me an email on through Canvas there, and I'll be glad to get back to you. And other than that, I will see you all in class on Monday. So take care until then.